Writers have to write whether they want to or not. Whatever is lurking deep within their souls has a mind of its own, spewing out words that delight us or make us cringe in horror. You said something about this at the Bombeck Writers Workshop keynote you did in 2014.
Correct.
Can you talk about that? Why do writers have to write?
I guess it's in you. And somebody made this comment to me the other day. They said, because I've been doing novels and now this new book, and they said, we really admire that you're still doing this. And I said, well, I just do it. I do it because it's what I do. But I've always been the kind of person, and one of the reasons that, in a way, I was happy to get away from sitcom is that I think when I feel like I don't have anything more to say, I'll probably stop writing. But as long as you have some idea in you that you feel is worthy, then you want to do it. And in this particular book, I have one essay in this book. I'll hold it up one more time.
Okay, The Way We Work.
The Way We Work. Mm-hmm. And in this book has 41 contributors talking about their Hollywood experiences. So my contribution, I wrote one essay out of the 41. And there are many people in this book who are far more famous than I am. But my essay is about working in sitcoms and having to basically kind of like put your writer's voice on hold. Because when you work on somebody else's show, like Home Improvement, that is the creator's voice and Tim Allen's voice, it's not you. So you become sort of an imitator, a mimic. You've got to write the show kind of the best way it can be written, like in a way like it's been written before, put your own little spin on it, but it's not you. So I'm at the point in life of being a writer where I get to write what I want to write, and I don't think I want to write if I don't feel I have anything worth writing about.
Well, you had a long career in television. Then you write 2 novels that are about sort of anti-heroes that are questioning the American dream.
Correct.
Why write about that?
I guess, well, first of all, when I wrote the first one, I didn't really know whether I was capable of writing a novel. And I just came up with this character who was about the same age as I was. I guess he was early 50s or 50. And he's questioning his life, and he does not want his life to go out the way it's been going so far. He's kind of been sort of a loser for the first two acts of his life, and he wants the third act to be something, that's worthy, that he could be proud of. So I didn't really know this at the time, but I knew that I was looking to do something new. My working life had been successful, but like the main character, I wanted my next act to be something different. I didn't quite know what it was. So as I wrote this character, the character started off as a loser and his problems were different than my problems. But as I got through the plot of the book, the character and I shared a lot of similar things. So it was really an amazing writing experience from that point of view.
And then with Cascade Falls, you have it where the character's sort of up against the shadow of his successful father, of sort of this dream life.
It also starts in Hollywood. It's about, I was really curious about this. What happens to those people who have a Hollywood dream and then get involved? They have a relationship because they want to have somebody, get married, and then they have kids, but that dream doesn't work out. So what happens to their life when they have to go to plan B? And what happens when they go to plan B and they're not happy with plan B, and plan B makes them miserable, but yet they've already taken this step into marriage and parenting? How do they deal with that? So I saw people around me who, they thought they were going to be really, really successful, and they weren't. and now they were married, and now they had kids, and what were their lives like, and how do you make those lives good, and how do you be happy with who you are? So there were so many interesting questions to explore there.
What do you think it is that people, because I've seen people that seem outwardly very successful, they don't think they are. I know 2 different people I heard say, oh yeah, we had to take our kids out of private school. And it was like this dreadful thing. It was like they had failed in life. When most people, it's not even a matter of being able to put them in private school. Why do you think people see their lives as failures? Because they're not on the cover of Variety?
Well,
Is that
being in
the
LA,
problem?
you're always, it's so obvious. And the way the world is becoming, the gap between the haves and the have-nots is getting bigger and bigger. And, in a city like LA, which does have a lot of problems with its public schools, and people see their friends being able to put their kids in private schools, and they want to do that as well. And that it becomes kind of a thing that, well, now I can't do that anymore, so I must be a failure. And they're not failures. They're just regular people.
Sure. Is it okay to be, did you get to a point where you said, I want to be doing fun stuff. I want to be doing stuff that fulfills me. And whether now I can walk into a room and people are going to really want to perk up and hear what I do versus me feeling fulfilled and maybe no one's heard of it is more important. Did you get to a point in your life where some of that didn't matter anymore?
Of people,
sort of the outward Hollywood success. Did you get to a point
where?
Oh
yeah, definitely.
It made more sense for Bruce to be happy with what Bruce was doing?
Absolutely. And I was forced into that situation. Well, first of all, I had done well, and then my first wife passed away, so I had to take care of my children. So that kind of eye-opener, that changes things in a hurry, and you get your priorities straight in a hurry. And as I was working through that, I had to think about what's the next step. Am I going to go back and write? I took time off, and then when I was ready to write again, I didn't want to write sitcoms anymore. I did a couple of things, a couple of pilots, and I was just, it was not a fun experience. And that's when I got into the novel writing.
And why did you want to do this book? Because it's not a novel, it's more of a Q&A.
This book I wanted to do because I got sick of sitting alone in a room. And I was alone in a room when I did this too. But the difference was I had to work with other people. I had to get other people to agree to be in this thing. And then I had to do the work of editing their work. And it was really fun. It was really fun to do something different that wasn't all about me. There are a lot of people who work in Hollywood. People similar to my level who write their own memoir. For me, I would never do that because, I've had some interesting things happen in my life, especially, with my wife and all that stuff. But I'm not the kind of person who would feel comfortable writing a 300-page memoir about me. It's not my thing. So it was really wonderful to be able to do all these little mini memoirs of people who also, like me, maybe don't feel like they want to write a whole memoir about themselves. Maybe they don't have a whole memoir's worth of stories, but everybody has a story to tell. And it was great to be able to include these people, especially the below the line people who never get to talk about what they do. I have a hairstylist, a makeup artist. I have an animal trainer talking about her job. And it was wonderful because these people never get their voices heard. So it was a great project from that point of view.
So you got out of being alone in the room for a while to interview these people. Did you learn anything about yourself? Not just like so-and-so worked with this star and this person, but in terms of, did you see similarity with all the writers and yourself?
Yeah. A lot of the writers, and I kind of knew this, that all the writers have been through certain struggles with their shows. But, you hear everybody else's point of view and everybody else's individual story, and it resonates for you. It's not yours necessarily, but you relate to it in a way that you go, yeah, I can see that. So it was wonderful to hear other people's points of view.